big salute, big salute to all my loved ones. Big salute. Y'all know what time it is. Yeah, y'all know what time it is. Early morning read with T. Yeah, early morning read with T. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the ego today. But big salute to all my loved ones, support squad, support goons, shareholders, business partners, future business partners. Man, big salute to everybody, man, that fuck with your boy, man. I love y'all, man. Remember that. Love y'all, man. When I get to the top, I'm gonna bring y'all with me. You know what I'm saying? When we get to the top, I'm gonna bring all my folks with me. Word up. So y'all just make sure y'all stay prepared. Cause I give me a couple million, hey. But hey, look, I got 10 plane tickets. I got 20 plane tickets. Fuck it. We loading up the boat. Y'all just be at the docks ready to ride. We loading up the boat. Yeah, man. So big salute to everybody, man. Let's get into our reading. We're gonna talk about the ego. Yeah, chapter 36, the ego. Big salute to my big brother, man. JT, the bigger figure, aka Fig Panamera, BKA Locks is home. Glocks is on. Big salute, big bro. Trying to make it do what it do, big bro. Love you. Yeah, so let's go ahead and start it off, y'all. The ego, unless they are born again. It is said that a person cannot enter the kingdom of heaven unless he or she dies and be born again. Person here refers to non-blacks. Dying refers to the dying of the ego. The ego is formed when a person refuses to accept the truth about his or her maker. Rejection of one's creator and the formation of the ego are one and the same phenomenon. Like walking and moving the legs in a particular way. When a person moves his legs or her legs in a particular way, we say he or she is walking. When he or she is walking, he or she moves his or her legs in a particular way. The two are as inseparable as a word and its meaning. Similarly, the ego and the rejection of the maker are just as inseparable. The one defies the other. It's not possible for a person to have an ego without rejecting his maker. And it's not possible for a person to reject his maker and not develop an ego. Therefore, only non-blacks have or are capable of developing a real ego. The reason is straightforward. Only non-blacks have a maker. Black people are self-created without beginning. There is no maker that can reject. There is no maker that they can reject. Therefore, they cannot develop a real ego, because a real ego can be developed if and only if one rejects his creator, as was said about the pride of Lucifer, the being of light skin. Non-blacks are made beings. They have a maker by the name of Yahweh, Yahweh. They also have free will given to them by their maker in his own image. Thus, they have the ability to reject their God, their very own maker and sustainer of their existence. This is something of a dilemma because in order for them to rule the world, they had to take it over from their maker, black people. To do this, they had to see their maker as being inferior to themselves, so they could have the courage to conquer and rule them. The rejection of their maker automatically caused them to develop an ego. Thus, all non-blacks have developed an ego of some kind. The proudest of them have what is called an overinflated ego, which is potentially the most dangerous kind in terms of their everlasting salvation. The most humble of them have only a mild ego, but an ego nonetheless. The rest fall in degrees somewhere in between these two extremes. They can be born again only if this ego dies. When the ego dies, then they have the opportunity to discover the truth, which is that their God is a black man. Alternatively, which is the same thing. If they accept their God, their ego will automatically die. Thus is the hardest thing for the vast majority of non-blacks to accept. They were raised by their own kind to see black people as inferior beings, hardly worthy of respect, let alone love or worship. For them to worship a black person is well near impossible. It's for this reason that they have manufactured every form of conceivable idol to worship. The most religious of them have concocted an invisible spirit god and worship this god in the forms provided by their various religions. The least religious of them have given up on worshiping any type of god at all and instead worship their own physical existence in the form of greed. They live only to accumulate as much material possessions and pleasure as possible in an effort to satisfy their greed. Boy, that's big facts. Their insatiable, their insatiable God, they know deep down that this is futile, yet they'd rather worship that, yet they'd rather worship that than their real God simply because he's black. Those who worship a spirit God also know deep down that they're deceiving themselves. So they manufactured this God in such a way that he can never be found or known. Those who seek him, especially children who will innocently ask where God is, their reply is that he's in heaven where they cannot go until they die. That puts the brakes on most children who then stop searching for the invisible God that solves their problems of having to disclose the whereabouts of their spirit God. Boy, the ego, the ego, the ego. Boy, the ego, the ego, the ego. Yeah, this is what they do. Yeah, this is what they do. Just to make sure, they further add that if they some by chance, just to make sure, they further add that if by some chance someone happens to see this guy, he will surely die because his face is not meant to be seen. All this effort they put into manufacture of false gods is for one purpose only, to hide the identity of their true God. But a black person is their maker. He holds their destiny in his hands. They cannot have everlasting life unless they recognize and accept their maker. So recognize and accept your maker. Ooh, recognize and accept. This is not egotistical on Yahweh's part. It's simply because for them to have everlasting life, they must exist within his everlasting mind. For them to reject him is like a fish rejecting water. How else can it live? But they cannot accept him as long as they have egos, because an ego is the crust formed when they reject him. Who made them? This crust, depending on how thick it is and how much they identify with it, will blind some of them permanently, such that they will even choose to cease to exist rather than shed it. This is the meaning of the teaching that one must die and be born again as an egoless child in order to enter the kingdom of heaven. This teaching by Jesus and other messiahs was directed only at non-blacks, being what they are, ruled by their egos. They perverted the teaching and deflected it away from themselves, to the point where now many believe that it applies to all people. This is a sad lie for black people to believe. Black people by nature do not develop egos, but they can get a false ego by initiation. They imitate the egocentricity of the non-blacks, especially in the West or so-called developed countries. That's the problem that African leaders have. Yep. So many have this imitation ego that they flaunt around as if it's their true self. Just seen the president of Kenya leaving America the other day. Non-blacks are always clamoring for the material things to satisfy their greed. Some black people see this behavior and envy it, causing many to behave in ways that make it seem like they have real egos. But such is not the cause. Such is not the case. As with every form of evil, they learn it from non-blacks. They get caught up in their culture because, frankly, many have no idea of any other type of life except that which they see among the enemy. The truth remains through that egocentricity is not part of our nature. Egocentricity is not part of our nature. And that's the end of that chapter. The ego. Kill your ego, man. Kill your ego. 299. Okay, chapter 37. Questions. People asking them questions. Yeah, people asking them questions. What page is that? 299. 299. Boy, they got a whole lot of questions. Well, I bet they do got a lot of questions. I bet they do got a lot of questions. So we'll start the questions off tomorrow. 299. Yeah, chapter 37. So that was just a little quick read. Kill your ego. Kill your ego. I had to kill mine. Well, I didn't really have an ego. I had an ego, a little bullshit ego that I developed from America. You know what I'm saying? Killed it. Yeah, I killed it. I killed my ego a long time ago. That's why I don't get on here and rant and rave about baby mama. That's why I don't rant and rave about all the haters. Because they got little fake egos. Yeah, they got little fake egos. Oh yeah, haters. I got a couple new haters too. Yeah, got a couple new haters too. So go talk about that. Go talk about your egos, hater, which you probably don't even know nothing about. But big salute to everybody. I'm trying to go live here in a little bit. But kill your ego, man. Kill your fake ego. Yeah, kill your fake ego. Yeah, kill your fake ego. Kill your fake ego, man. Yeah, that's why when some white folks do a crime, they don't really, they suck it up. But when you see all these young brothers, yeah, crying in the courtroom and this and that, it's that fake ego, man. You had an ego before you went in front of that judge. Look at your ego now. You get in front of that old white man or that white lady. Now you crying like a little baby. Kill your ego, man. Yeah, when you out there in the streets, you tough. Yeah, you tough out there in them streets. But it's a whole different story when you ain't got that tone in your hand. Yeah, you tough on the other side of the world, slandering, talking about other people doing things. But what are you doing? Yeah, one of the haters said 60% of the people that view him aren't subscribing. Bruh, cause you lame, man. Your ego is lame. You lame, bruh. That's why you got a whole bunch of people coming, but you like, damn, I ain't got no subscribers, cause they don't like you, man. You a lame. You have no real content. Your content is based on others. You know what I'm saying? That's called copyright infringement. Stop copying. Stop being a copycat. Well, I can't say copycat. Stop being a fake egotistic slanderer. A egotistical slanderer. In the holy word, it says, woe to the slanderer. Hey, Big Bruh should be going live on his new channel. You see, it took him 1 week, a little less, to get 1,000 subs. So haters, go make some real content, man. Do some real content. You can't keep up. You're not built for this. But keep trying. Yeah, keep trying. Keep sending that traffic this way. Yeah, keep sending that traffic this way, haters. Them slanderers. Yeah, keep sending that traffic this way. Thank you. Big salute. Love my loved ones. Wah, wah. Aye.